He was the quiet baker everyone trusted, a family man, a record-holding hunter, and a neighbor you'd never suspect. But behind that calm smile was a predator, one who didn't just kill, he hunted. Deep in the Alaskan wilderness, women were vanishing, one by one, until a terrified girl escaped his grasp and exposed one of the most twisted serial killers in American history. This is the chilling story of Robert Hansen, the real-life butcher baker. Robert Hansen was born in Estherville, Iowa, on February 15, 1939. The eldest of two children to an American mother, Edna Margaret Hansen, and a Danish father, local baker Christian Chris Hansen. Robert was employed at his father's bakery. The family moved to Richmond, California in 1942, but returned to Iowa in 1949 and settled in Pocahontas. In his youth, Hansen was painfully shy, had a stutter, and suffered severe acne that left him permanently scarred. Throughout childhood and adolescence, he was described as a quiet loner who had a difficult relationship with his domineering father. Hansen started to practice both hunting and archery, often finding refuge in those pastimes. In 1957, he enlisted in the United States Army Reserve and served for 1 year before being discharged. He later worked as an assistant drill instructor at a police academy in Pocahontas. There, he began a relationship with a younger woman, whom he married in the middle of 1960. On December 7, 1960, Hansen was arrested for burning down a Pocahontas County school bus garage. As revenge for his unpopularity in high school, he served 20 months of a 3-year prison sentence in Anamosa State Penitentiary. During his incarceration, he was diagnosed with manic depression with periodic schizophrenic episodes. The psychiatrist who made the diagnosis noted that Hansen had an infantile personality and was obsessed with getting back at people he felt had wronged him. Hansen's wife filed for divorce while he was incarcerated. Over the next few years, Hansen was jailed several times for petty theft. In 1967, he moved to Anchorage, Alaska, with his second wife, whom he had married in 1963 and with whom he had 2 children. In Anchorage, he was well liked by his neighbors and set several local hunting records. In December 1971, Hansen was arrested twice, first for abducting and attempting to rape an unidentified housewife, then for raping an unidentified sex worker. He pleaded no contest to assault with a deadly weapon in the former offense. The rape charge involving the prostitute was dropped as part of a plea bargain. Hansen was sentenced to 5 years in prison. After serving 6 months of his sentence, he was placed on a work release program and released to a halfway house. In 1976, Hansen pleaded guilty to larceny after he was caught stealing a chainsaw from an Anchorage Fred Meyer store. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison and required to receive psychiatric treatment for his bipolar disorder. The Alaska Supreme Court reduced his sentence, and he was released with time served. Hansen is believed to have begun killing around 1972. His modus operandi is believed to have been to stalk a woman to learn her habits, eventually picking her up in his car and forcing her at gunpoint to his home, where he would rape her. He may then have taken the woman to a secluded area and hunted her as if she were wild game, before shooting or stabbing her. Hansen is known to have raped and assaulted over 30 Alaskan women and to have murdered at least 17, ranging in age from 16 to 41. Although, based on evidence, law enforcement suspect that Hansen killed at least 21 female victims. Van Zanten was kidnapped on December 22, 1971. On December 25, 1971, her body was discovered at Chugach State Park, close to Anchorage. Sexual assault. Megan Siobhan Emmerich, then 17, vanished on July 7, 1973, in Seward, Alaska. Before contacting the police, her roommate conducted a 3-day search for her. Hansen denied killing her to authorities, but he did admit he was in Seward on the day Megan vanished. Hansen admitted to a former inmate that he transported Megan to a cabin in the Seward region, where he killed and buried her. Mary Kathleen Thill, age 22, disappeared from Seward, Alaska, on July 5, 1975. A different acquaintance saw her by a waterfall on Lowell Point Road. She has not been seen or heard from since. Hansen acknowledged being in Seward on the day. Hansen admitted to killing her and discarding her body in Resurrection Bay, according to a former prisoner. Hansen admitted to stabbing her in the back after she made an effort to flee from his car. She was either a topless dancer or a prostitute, according to Hansen. Local topless dancer, 24-year-old Joanne Messina, went out to dinner with Hansen. On May 19, 1980, Messina offered him sex in exchange for cash. Hansen refused to pay and release her. He hit her with a .22 caliber revolver before shooting her twice and the dog once. On July 8, 1980, her severely decomposed life. On June 28, 1980, Roxane Eastland, then 24 years old, vanished. She was scheduled to meet an unnamed man downtown on 4th Avenue. She has not been seen or heard from since. Although Hansen admitted to killing her, her body was never discovered. Lisa Futrell met and was subsequently kidnapped by Hansen on September 6, 1980. Her body was discovered on May 9, 1984, buried next to a gravel pit south of the former Nick Arm Bridge. Sherry Morrow, a 23-year-old topless dancer, told friends she was meeting a photographer who had promised her $300 for nude images on November 17, 1981. She was never seen again. A shallow grave was discovered by hunters. On the banks of the Nick River, she had received 3 gunshot wounds to the back. On December 2, 1981, Andrea Mona Fish Altieri, 24, was last seen boarding a taxi to go to the Boniface Mall in Anchorage, Alaska. She intended to meet an unnamed male for a photo shoot and to perform exotic dances. She has not been seen or heard from since. Hansen claimed that after he met her, he threatened her with a gun and abducted her, blindfolding and handcuffing her. He unbound her there and abused her sexually. He killed her, and her body was never found. Sue Luna, a 23-year-old exotic dancer, voluntarily agreed to a $300 photo shoot offer with a nightclub patron. On May 26, 1982, she met Hansen in a diner parking lot in Anchorage, Alaska. The following day, Luna was reported missing. Hansen had abducted and killed her, then buried her in the Nick River. The partial skeletal remains of Robin Pelkey, 19, were found on April 25, 1984, in Palmer. It was determined that she had been stabbed and shot. It is unknown if this victim was involved in sex work. Delynn Sugar Renee Frey, a 22-year-old former resident of Anchorage, Alaska, was last seen sometime in March 1983. She was abducted and killed by Hansen. Paula Goulding, 30, was a dancer in Anchorage when, on April 25, 1983, Hansen offered her money before kidnapping her. He drove her to his aircraft, and once they reached a remote spot, she fought with him and attempted to get away, according to Hansen. She fled, and he fired a .223 rifle at her, killing her. Cindy Paulson, 17, met Hansen on June 13, 1983, in Anchorage. After agreeing to pay for sex, Hansen instead pulled a .357 Magnum on her and kidnapped her. She was taken to his home, bound and sexually assaulted, before Hansen took her to the Merrill Field, where his airplane was. Hansen left Paulson alone in his car while he began loading his plane, threatening to kill her if she ran away. She ran away toward 5th Avenue. There, she was picked up by a passing driver, Robert Yount. Yount took Paulson to a safe location and shortly after called police. At about the same time, a security guard at the Merrill Field noticed some suspicious activity, and although he made no contact, he noted the license tag for Hansen's car. Police located and interviewed Paulson about the attack. On July 10, 1981, dancer Malai Larson, age 28, was reported missing from Anchorage, Alaska. On April 24, 1984, her body was discovered in a parking lot close to the Nick Arm Bridge. Dancer Teresa Watson, 22, was last seen in Anchorage on March 25, 1983. She informed her roommate that she was meeting a man who would give her $300 exchange for an hour or two of company. At Scenic Lake, Hansen abducted her and killed her. 24-year-old Angela Lynn Feddern was last seen on February 1983. She was not reported missing until May. Hansen had kidnapped and murdered her. If stories like this keep you up at night, you're not alone. Subscribe for more real case